Hey all, Nick here from Design Hero. So today I'm going to go through another system. This is a foundational system that I use in my own business every day. This is a system that will teach solopreneurs to get back at least 4 hours of their week, probably more. I estimate that this saves me 4 hours just on going back and forth by emails and comms. But not only that, I reckon it literally saves me 8 to 10 hours a week easily in wasted calls that I don't need to do. So this particular system is to do with scheduling and booking appointments. It's one of those foundations in your business that you cannot avoid. If you're a service provider, a solopreneur, a freelancer, you're going to have to set up calls, bookings, meetings, whether it's onboarding, whether it's, paid work like audits or consultations, or whether it's just services for things like therapists, accountants. You can't get around it. It's one of those foundations of your business that we need to do. It does take up a lot of time, especially if you're doing this manually. If you're still doing this manually, you may not even be problem aware, but the problems when you do this manually is that you're going back and forth non-stop with these emails. I've seen email chains 10 or 12 emails deep, just trying to arrange like one time that suits two people. Imagine doing that between, if you're working with a committee or a group and you've got five trying to arrange an appointment, don't even go there. The second thing is mental tax. If you're trying to arrange an appointment with someone and you're going back and forth, then you've got to check if they've paid, then you've got to follow up on the payment to chase them on it. They might cancel before the appointment. All of that is mental tax that's sitting on your brain that you can't check off until that appointment is complete, which means that you can't dedicate your brain to thinking about your business and working on your business. And the final thing is customer experience. People are inherently lazy, and I don't say that to be mean. I'm the same. No one wants to be emailing back and forth trying to arrange an appointment. You don't want to do it, and trust me, your customers do not want to do it either. The only reason they're doing that is because it's the path of least resistance, and it's what occurs to them. They're going to text you, WhatsApp you, post, fax, carrier pigeon. They're going to contact you whatever is closest to their hand at the time. If you don't set boundaries and set up a system for them to contact you and a system for them to arrange an appointment with you, they're going to do whatever occurs to them. And that's not a good experience for the customer. So what I would recommend is set up a seamless system that's dead easy for them to book an appointment. If you are a service provider or a freelancer and your initial contact with a customer is via call, and this is an inquiry who wants to give you money, you do not want any friction in that process. You want to make your scheduling as simple as possible. Every time you introduce another email or another chance for them to get distracted, you potentially lose a sale. So that's why your onboarding, your scheduling, your booking has to be absolutely flawless. So right now I'm going to run you through the system I use in my own business. It runs fully automated, fully on autopilot. I've been using it for years. It basically runs through a combination of different parts, which I'm going to talk through just now, and then we'll go through each one of them. But when we set up this system, the goal is that basically when a customer asks for an appointment, we send them one link, the customer follows the link, books an appointment. They've got all my availability and non-availability in one easy window, so they can pick the time that suits them best. They get automated follow-ups, automated reminders. I receive a notification when they book a call. It saves a slot in my calendar for the call. It sends them all the information they need to join the call. They get reminders, so they've got no excuse for missing it. They can cancel it if it doesn't suit for them via a link in the email. So again, I don't need to handle that side of it. And all I need to do is after sending them a link is I need to show up to the call. Simple as that. Set this system up, we're going to need a couple of different things. We're going to need Google Calendar. We're going to need Calendly. And that's pretty much it for the core. There's some optional ones you can add. You can add Zoom if you want to handle remote meetings, which I would fully recommend. There's PayPal or Stripe if you want to take payments for a booking, such as a website order, a consultation, a paid service, a therapy session, any other paid meetings. And there's MailChimp if you want to send more complex email journeys, nurture series, sales emails after the initial appointment. You can do that using MailChimp. So I'm going to dive into it, and I'm actually going to do a screen share of me setting up an event so you can see exactly how you set it up, where to click, what to type, what to do. And my goal is basically for you to be able to set up this system on yourself by yourself. So let's dive into the system. I'm going to go through it step by step. I'm going to try and record this in one take from a screen recording, so please bear with me if it's a bit rough, but I'll try and get all the key steps in there. So this is Calendly. This is the meat of the system. It's basically a pre-built product for scheduling and appointment setting. It has several pricing tiers. There is a free version in which you can set up one type of meeting. It's quite limited, but it basically does everything you need it to do. If you've only got one type of meeting, one type of service, this will work fine for you. You can even connect it with your calendar under the free account, and you can even set automated event notifications. Amazing under the free plan. I still cannot believe that they give away these two things for free. I would recommend the standard plan. It's $10 a month. That's $10 a month. If you even save, 15 minutes a month using this system, then it's worth the money, $10. So this allows you to set up unlimited numbers of events. It allows you to connect payments, set custom workflows, all sorts of goodies. So I would thoroughly recommend standard plan. And by the way, this isn't an affiliate thing for me. I do not get any benefits from promoting Calendly. It's just such a great product. So I would, first of all, we just sign up for an account. I obviously already have an account, which I'm going to show you here. So these are just different events that I've already set up. I'm going to run through a new one with you just so you can see how it works. But basically the first thing we do is we're going to create a new event, and it's just going to be a one-on-one event. I'm obviously going to be the host. And you'll see here you can actually customize your branding. I've dropped my logo, I've dropped my profile picture in there. You can do that from your settings later. The color is just for internal use. You can name it, my amazing call or standard book a call or whatever it is you want to call it. I would recommend that, remember, this is usually part of your sales funnel. So I would call it something cool. Don't just say a 15-minute call. Call it like, strategy session or a clarity call or whatever you want to call it, but basically give the benefit that you're going to give away in the call in the title. You can set the duration, and you can choose whether it's going to be a virtual call using Zoom. So you can integrate Zoom into your account so that you can directly create Zoom Zoom meetings automatically when they book. It can be a phone call with a phone number. It can be an in-person meeting if you're offering an in-person service or consultation. And you can also set up integrate other types of virtual meetings in there as well. So after you've set that up, you just hit continue, and it's basically going to give you a preview. This is what your customer is going to see when they book a call with you. It's just going to be a series of days and a series of times that you're available. So event details, again, I would encourage you to really flesh this out in the description. Don't just write, a call. Tell them what they're going to get, tell them how it's going to work, tell them the benefit they're going to get. For reference, this is my free consultation call, which I have very limited availability. I only take them on Tuesdays and Thursdays, because as you'll see, this isn't just jump in a call and I'll give you a quote. This is a intense session where I'm going to go over their business. I'll explain to them a strategy of how they can take their business to the next level, and then obviously I will give them a proposal on how we implement that strategy. But this is a high level call. It's essentially a free consultation, so I name it as such, and I tell them what we're going to talk about and what they're going to get. So the next step would be, first of all, set your scheduling settings. When can they book an event with you? Now you can set all sorts of rules here. I'm not going to go through them all individually, but you'll see here you can set your availability as limited or as available as you want, and I would encourage you to limit your availability. You would be amazed at how many benefits this has to your business. Too many solopreneurs make themselves available 24/7. They're always on call. Not only is there an absolute mental tax of stress in that, but it derails your day. You cannot do any meaningful work if people are calling you every 5 minutes, WhatsApping you, emailing you. You've got to set aside time for yourself to do the really important jobs in your business instead of working in your business. So I would encourage you to set your availability with certain days or certain times that you're available for calls, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. So what you'll see here is your available hours, and you can set up different schedules. For example, you'll see these are my working hours. These are sort of times that I'm available to my team internally, and I do make that any time because it's important that my team have feedback from me when they need it so that they can proceed with projects. Then I have a separate schedule for my meeting hours. Now you'll see, look at this, I'm only available Thursday and Friday between certain times. You can set custom hours, so you can say when you're available for calls, and you can decide, it's up to you for your business. But I would encourage you to block them into certain days and have days where you do meetings. The next thing you can set is buffer times. You can set times between meetings. If you've got a meeting and you're going to have to take 15 minutes of notes, you're going to have to recover or reset your room or whatever it is for the next meeting, you can set buffer times. And you can also set how soon can they book a meeting. For example, I don't want someone to be able to book a meeting with me in an hour's time. That's not enough time for me to prepare. And you can also say, I only want to take 2 meetings per day. Any more than that and I'm bust. So I don't want to take any more meetings than that. So basically, you run through and set up your availability settings under the event types. Then there's some more booking page options. This is where you can set the information that you want to gather during the call. So this is the link that you're going to be given to them. You can collect their name and email. You can also add your own custom questions, and this is quite a powerful tool because, for example, if you're jumping onto a free consultation, you can ask your customer, what are you struggling with? And they will tell you in that field what they're struggling with, and you can frame your whole pitch around their problem to make sure that your pitch comes across as a solution to their problem. You can also ask more humdrum things, if you need to know something for the call, if you need a vital bit of information, please enter, info I need for the call and whatever, and you can set it to whether it's required, and you can also select various types of inputs from checkboxes, radio, drop down, whatever it is you need to know, you can add it in there. Now you can also optionally collect a payment. So if this is a paid service, if you're, a designer or a consultant or a therapist or a PT or whatever it is, you can actually collect payment at the time of the appointment in any currency you want, any amount that you want. So, if this was going to be a paid consultation or whatever, you can actually set that up to collect payments. If you want to see what that looks like, this is my website audit, which is basically a very quick 45-minute workshop. It's really a 15-minute audit where I'll basically go over their website and give them actionable things that they can do right now to boost their bottom line. It's £42 in terms of the value I give back. If they even sell one more service at £42, they've made their money back. That's not bad for a 15-minute meeting, 15-minute audit. And you'll see here, when they go to book, they enter their information that I've just mentioned, and they will pay with PayPal during the time of the meeting. So back to our original call. I'm not going to collect payments for now. We're going to assume this is just for booking calls. After they have booked their call, you can decide what you want them to do. You can just display a confirmation page, or you can even redirect them to an external site. For example, if someone books a strategy call for me for my coaching, I coach solopreneurs of how to go from a frantic freelancer to a 6-figure systemized solopreneur. If they do that, they are then redirected to an intro video with some free training for them before they join the call. So for example, they would run through the event, they would fill out the information, they would pay or not pay, and then when they hit that schedule event button, they would then basically be redirected to this video which is on my Loom. You can send them to any link. You could send them to a link on your website, for example, with some more information. You could send them to an upsell. You could send them to whatever you want after they book that call. It could just be information for the appointment. So that's you created your first event. So what do we need to do now? Well, we need to set up some things, some integrations into Calendly to make sure that this is a system and not just a call booking mechanism. So in the bottom left, you'll see there is integration and apps. Now there's loads of different apps here you can integrate. I'm going to go through the most important 3 for you to explain why. So the first one I would always integrate is my calendar. Now I use Google Calendar. So basically what you can do with a couple of clicks, you just run through the process and you connect your Google Calendar account, I've connected both of them, to your Calendly. And what happens when you do this is that Calendly will automatically check for conflicts in your calendar, not just for appointments that your customers have booked, any appointments in your calendar. So you'll see here it's checking for conflicts on my personal calendar and my work calendar. So if someone tries to book a call with me using my link, what you'll see here is that yes, they have my predetermined availability, so they can only book a call on Tuesdays and Thursdays between certain times. But what's also going on here is it's checking my calendar on Tuesdays and Thursdays to see what I've got on, and it's blocking out those calendars, those slots in my calendar, even if they're not to do with Design Hero, which is really powerful. It means that basically, if you're not free, you're not free. People can't book an appointment. It also means that you can manually block out dates that you don't want to be available for appointments if you're just too busy. So that handles your workload as well. So that's really, I would say, an essential step is connecting your calendar to that. The next one that we're going to want to integrate, if you're a knowledge worker, is you're going to want to integrate Zoom. So Zoom is a really powerful integration with Calendly. When you connect Zoom, it allows you to set your event type to Zoom, so that when they book a call with you, it automatically creates a Zoom meeting for that particular call. You'll see here all the calls that people book with me are remote meetings, and it automatically creates a Zoom call in my calendar. And you'll see here when it creates that Zoom call in my calendar, which is fully automatic, they also, all of the information that I need is saved into that calendar event, including the link I need to join is saved here, their phone number, and any information that I need is saved here, their email. I basically got all the information I need to join that call. The customer will also receive this information. You'll know that they're added to the event in Google Calendar. So if they have a Google Calendar, this event is going to appear on their Google Calendar, and they're going to receive automated follow-ups and reminders, which I'm going to show you in a minute. So that's why I always connect Zoom. The next one that you want to connect will be PayPal or Stripe. If you want to collect payment when they book an appointment, if you're selling a consultation or an in-person service, you can connect PayPal or Stripe. And when you connect that, again, it's just a few simple clicks. You basically just sign into your PayPal account. And once you've done that, when you create, for example, a paid event, I'll just see if I can find one on my own. So if you create a paid event in which you want to collect payments, when you're setting up the options for your event, you'll see here after the questions you can select the option to accept payments by PayPal or Stripe. And it's just a case of entering the amount you want to collect. So this is a 1 hour consultation that I sell for £198 if they book a single one, or they can buy a block of 4 for £98. And you'll see here actually, after they book the super session, they are then redirected to my website where they are offered that exact offer, where instead of a one-off, they can book a block of 4 for £98 instead, which is obviously far better value. So that's how we handle payments. So we've just turned a call booking system into a full-on appointment booking system with payments. So the next thing I'm going to show you is, again, another optional one that I would highly recommend integrating MailChimp into Calendly as well, for the reason that when people attend certain events, you can tag them in your MailChimp with certain tags. So for example, when someone attends one of my workshops, I run free workshops for freelancers to teach them the systems that I'm teaching right now, basically, but on a one-to-group format, one-to-many. So I'll actually go through the system on a live group call with them. This is one that I do, which is teaching them an automated payment system, an upfront payment system. And guess what happens when they click this button? They get my Calendly, where they can book a slot for the next workshop that's available. But what happens after they book the workshop? Well, they get tagged. So if I jump back to this, when they join that workshop and they've basically signed up to attend the event, they'll get tagged in my MailChimp as workshop. And then you can send them a whole series of emails, nurturing them, giving them further information, asking them questions, basically engaging with your audience. Now, I'm not going to show you that in this call because that's a whole nother system. I'm going to show you a system to nurture your contacts after you've got those contacts into your funnel. But what you can do here by connecting MailChimp is essentially take people that are booking calls and put them in at the top of your funnel and start to nurture them into a longer term customer, a higher paying customer, a better customer, by providing value to them through an email series, or by sending them other resources, or just send them information they need to engage with you. This is optional though, it's not necessary, it's just something I'd like to highlight. So on that note, I've just mentioned that in MailChimp you can send them automated emails, a series of, it's more complex nurture emails. However, there is another part of Calendly that is so useful that I'm going to show you right now, and that is workflows. So I mentioned that Calendly can handle automated follow-ups and reminders. Under workflows, you'll see there are various different automated sequences that happen when someone books an event. Now, I don't know about you, but I find when people book events, especially virtual events, the attendance is pretty awful. A lot of people will ghost you, they won't show up, they won't even tell you they're not going to show up. This is kind of a bugbear for me. I try not to take it personally, and it's just part of the prospecting game. However, it does really annoy me because they get a lot of free information from me in the run up to the call, and then they receive 2 automated reminders about when the call is going to be one by text, one by email. So they definitely get them. I know they get them because the analytics. And then if they don't show up, I just think that's rude to not let someone know. Literally, they get a link at the bottom of the email where they can text and say, I'm not going to make it. It's one click. That's all they need to do. Just not going to make it. A lot of people don't do that. For me personally, it's a huge red flag. If an inquiry books a meeting with you and doesn't show up, it shows a lack of respect. Now, things come up in business all the time. Sometimes you'll get an email like an hour later going, I'm so sorry, I totally forgot, or something come up, and that's fine. But the ones that ghost generally and don't reply to you, I think are a red flag and usually a customer to be avoided. That's just another tangent we're going on. But that's why these systems are so good, because they help you set those boundaries. They help you weed out and vet your clients. They help you to gain knowledge about your clients before you actually meet them as well. You're gathering information during the sign-up process as well. So, off on a tangent there, back on track. What we were talking about was automated reminders, automated follow-ups, and automated follow-up emails and texts. So there's actually two ways you can do this. You can do this per event. So for example, if I go to my event types and I go into my strategy call, you'll see here under communications, there is a bit where you can basically, you can send different emails. So you'll see immediately after booking, you'll see there's an email that goes out and it's customized. So it's got their full name, the event name. It basically tells them when is it, what is it, and they've got information they need to attend the event. And this goes out by email. There's also one there for if they cancel. You'll see if they cancel the event using the link in the email, they'll receive a cancellation email, which actually gives them another link if they'd like to reschedule. And you'd be amazed at how many inquiry prospects, people are busy. Going back on what I said just a couple of minutes ago, people are busy, and especially solopreneurs, it's natural for things to come up and this moves to the bottom of their list. You're not at the top of people's list. You've got to put aside your ego and remember that. So if they cancel, give them a chance to rebook. They 50% of the time, I would say they will, and they'll turn into a prospect. Now, if you hadn't sent that follow-up, what happens is they just forget and then move on, and you never get to know whether that was going to be a project or a paying prospect or not. So you're missing out on so many leads if you don't set up a cancellation email that just gently invites them to rebook. You can also set an email reminder, which you can customize for each event, and you can set a text reminder, which you can customize for each event. And lastly, you can also send an email follow-up. So after the event ends, after the date and time of their appointment, you can send a follow-up email just saying, thanks for coming. Do you want to book another event? And drop the link back to your original calendar. So if it's a recurring one, you can actually ask them to buy the same thing again. Or for example, you could ask them to leave a review and include a link to your review page. Or you could ask them to refer you to another customer if they've had a good experience. You could ask them to refer you in exchange for a 10% bonus or 10% off on a future booking or something like that. So there's all sorts of ways you can use this email follow-up reminder as well. So that's the first way you can set automated follow-ups, automated reminders. You can do it from the task. Now you'll notice in this particular one, it's set to off. Now you'd think that means that they're not receiving email reminders or or text reminders. In fact, that just means there's no custom ones for this event. What you'll see is down here, I've actually set up blanket ones that apply to all my events. So I obviously have quite a few events going on. I have paid events, I have free events, I have workshops, I have consultations, I have quick catch-ups for clients, I have team catch-ups. I've got all sorts of events going on. This might be simpler for you. If you only have 2 or 3 events, you can just set up a reminder per event. What I like to do is set up blanket ones. So for example, this applies to pretty much all my events. And if we go into workflows, and then I'll show you how to get back to this if you're not in a single event. You go into workflows, and then you'll see these are the blanket workflows that I've set up, or blanket automations that I've set up. So basically what we do is, if we click on any one of these, I've named it, so it's just email reminder to invitee. You'll see I've selected all the different events that it applies to, which is just about all of them. You can set when it happens. So I've set 1 day before the event. This could be hours or minutes before the event, but I pick 1 day. I like to send them an email. And in the email, again, you'll see it's customized. It's got a reminder, it's got an emoji to stand out in their inbox. It tells them what the event is at the time and the date in the subject line, so they can see that without even opening the email. In their inbox, they'll see the event time and date. And actually, just looking at that right now, I'm going to optimize that. so that they see the time and the date. And actually I'm going to do date and then time because that's a better way of doing it. So now they have it even clearer in their inbox of what the event is, when it is, and how to attend. Then under the body, you'll see that it's got their name. It's customized again using variables. Just a reminder, event name with Nick, is it, here's your link to join, and that's a link to the Zoom call. And it's as simple as that. It doesn't need to be fancier than that. The next thing they get is a text reminder, and I like to do a text reminder just before, because quite often people will be in getting a coffee or walking about the office and they're not at their emails. I actually encourage people to not sit with your emails open. I personally check my emails like a couple of times a day, and I do them in batches. Usually if you're sitting there with your emails open constantly, it's a red flag. You're wasting so much time, you're living in your inbox working on other people's to-dos. Again, just going back to working on important things. You cannot be working on your own business if you're constantly answering other people's emails and putting out other people's fires. So respecting what I teach, I would encourage people not to be in their emails constantly. So I send them a text 90 minutes before the event starts. Now, 90 minutes is kind of enough to remind them that the event's on, and far enough before that they can organise themselves for the meeting. And if we go into this reminder, you'll see again, it's just a text reminder, just, hey, name, see you at event time. If you aren't going to make it, please text and let me know. Again, that's just a courtesy. It's just so that people have the chance to tell you if they're not going to make it. So that's basic automated emails and text reminders about the event. And it means that it takes that off of your hand. You don't need to do that. You can set up more complex automations if you want. For example, if someone attends one of my workshops, you'll have seen they already get tagged in MailChimp and they'll receive information through MailChimp. But what also happens is, you'll see I've actually set up some emails for specific to people that are attending my workshops, which are more of a nurture type thing than a sales type thing. So what happens is, if they attend a workshop, they basically get a little message thanking them for attending, and then I just basically remind them that I've got lots of other systems and lots of other stuff that I can help them with, and there's a link to a lead magnet which takes them to a landing page on my website. If they sign up to that, they get added to my email audience, and they then receive another free gift, which is basically a walkthrough of my referral system. So they basically get redirected to another automated system, which is, there's another article for this, for an automated referral system which generates about 6 figures of revenue for me a year. But this could be anything you want. This could be further information, it could be other resources that you offer, it could be just a thank you message. There's lots of different actions you can set in here. You'll see you can send an email, you can send a text, you can redirect them to another resource that you offer. They're really powerful, these automations, if you set them up right. And what we're doing here when we set up these automations, like we said, it's a funnel. You're just basically working people through the funnel, giving them content, nurturing them, plugging those holes, re-inviting them to stuff that they haven't taken you up on yet. But that's kind of getting into the more complex side of things. I hope that's a quick run through of how to set up your events, how to gather the information you need for the events, how to set your availability so that you're not being called and harassed all the time, and how to remove yourself from the system so that people can run all the way through this without you. You know, the idea is that all you do when someone needs to book a call with you, you just ping them a link to your Calendly page. They do the rest. They run through the time, the information they need is added to your calendar. You've got the information you need to join the call. They get automated reminders about the call. You nurture them with any further information you want to upsell, to give away, to add to them, and to basically just save your own time and save your own mental tax and remove yourself from this manual process. So I hope that was useful. I hope that has taught you another system which is going to help you automate your business and go from a frantic freelancer to a 6-figure solopreneur. Every task that you can automate in your business frees you up to work on your business. Scheduling and booking appointments is one of those just time-consuming tasks that takes up so much of your time, so much of your mental task, and it's something that can be fully automated. It's really easy to set up. The stuff I've showed you, this is about a half an hour loom, I think. The stuff I've showed you can easily be set up in half an hour. Even the basics would take you 15 minutes. It's one of the most powerful things you can do right now. So I'm going to encourage you right now, after you stop this video, firstly, give it a like, share it with anyone that you think might be useful. I'm always looking to grow my audience, so it would really help me out if you can help share this with other people that you think would get value from this. But then go away to Calendly, create an account, set up your event, and start sharing it with your customers.